Okay, good morning, and I'd just like to welcome.
Hello.
Hey, see, Laura, this is you all over. You're just so excited. You just can't wait to get started, can you? Okay, so Laura, I just wanted to take a few moments with you, if I can, just to talk about your new book, which you've got out. So, do you want to tell me very briefly the name of the book and what it's about?
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing this time with me this morning. So my book is called Built to Last, and it's really about my journey of recovery, of having had a terrible, terrible accident. And it's really been the 7 years that it's taken so far to get me back on my feet, and really about the resilience involved in terms of being pushed down so many times and having to climb back up. And it's really to share with other people how possible it is when we feel really challenged to keep getting back up when you think you can't.
Interesting. I should imagine that's a book that's going to be very pertinent with what's been going on for the last year, with people getting knocked back and knocked back and knocked back, right? But I think what would be a good idea, and I've known you for just going over a year now, and I think since the first moment I met you, you've always, I think your optimism and energy has really stood out, and your hair, of course, which looks fantastic. That was the other thing I noticed. No comment, right? Okay.
Yeah, no comment. No comment.
But well, I think what would be a really good idea is to share with us again, just clearly, what was your accident and how you're resilient, and really how that segued into wanting to make a difference. So if you could tell us that, I think it'd be great.
Yeah. So, one of my things in my spare time was running. I think many of you, even you, Phil, I know you love sport as well, and that was a real passion for me. And I was just out one morning before work on a normal run that I do during the week, and I was hit by a car as I was crossing, and I was thrown 30 feet down the road. And I kind of woke up in the road and thought, well, I've obviously been hit or I wouldn't be lying here. And then figured, well, if I could think like that, there was obviously nothing wrong with my head. And I was really just kind of cautiously looking to see what I thought I'd done. And all I could see at the time was that my right foot had come off, and it was, the bones were kind of sticking out there. And my left foot was in a very strange position I couldn't recognize. And the rest of me, I couldn't really see much more. But people were saying to me, stay with us. And I thought, where do they think I'm going? And then I realized that actually perhaps I'm in a pretty bad way, and maybe they think I'm going to die. And I thought, am I? And then I thought, no, you know what? This is not my time. I've got young kids, I've got a family, I've got work. I'm not dying today. And that was a choice I made, a conscious choice. But obviously, when the ambulance came and I was taken to hospital, etc., etc., it was recognized that I had, well, obviously my right foot had come off. My left one had been completely turned backwards and smashed. I separated my hamstring. I broke my elbow, lost half an arm, fractured my wrist. I dislocated my fingers, fractured my back. And originally they thought about amputating. And then they said that, my feet were sewn back on, but there was a lot of question as to whether I'd ever walk again. So obviously quite a big shock. I mean, my mother always said, if you're going to do something, do it properly. And I really did. But it's taken 17 surgeries so far to get me to where I am. I've had a lot of stuff taken out, a lot of metal put in instead. I'm always terrified in airports that, when you walk through the barriers, and I'm terrified the magnets will yank my feet sideways and I'll go flying. But the thing is this, I started working when I came out of the high dependency ward. I delivered my first training to 80 merchandisers 11 weeks after my accident, with my arms bound and my legs bound, and it worked. And I have worked consistently through. I've traveled around the world on crutches, in casts, and I've done loads and loads of stuff. But on top of my accident, I've actually had many, many other personal challenges thrown at the same time. And it's not been an easy journey. And I have to say that for the beginning, a lot of it was about just trying to get myself back again to where I needed to be. Because in all honesty, I don't see that we bounce in this life. It's a hard claw sometimes to get yourself back on your feet. It's not simple. And I think that, to begin with, I was just doing stuff and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just existing and getting better until somebody actually said to me, what was the point of your accident? And I thought, ooh, hadn't thought about it like that before. And it really made me rethink. And I thought, well, what could it be? And I suddenly thought, do you know what is it I'm doing? Should I stop doing something? Should I be doing something? What is it? And I actually realized that what I was doing all this time while I was, trying to recover, is that I recognized I was sort of using some kind of mechanisms, coping mechanisms. I wasn't quite sure what they were, but whatever it was really working for me. And people kept saying, you're so resilient. And I thought, I need to kind of understand that a bit more because I don't know actually what I'm doing. So I studied positive psychology because I'm naturally very optimistic anyway, and huge energy. And then I actually became a Gallup strengths coach. And this is then about recognizing that actually we all have a huge free resources kit inside us. And often we don't really recognize what that is. We're so used to doing what we do, we just do it without realizing that we've got some pretty clever stuff inside us that really can help us to achieve the things we want to do. And I realized that that's what I was doing. I was tapping into strengths that I had that were helping me not just cope, but really thrive. And so when I thought about that, I thought, you know what? We all of us have the ability to be remarkable, but most of us don't really realize that. And we kind of go around the houses and experiment and try, and we may get there. But actually, when you realize what you've actually got and how capable you are with your own unique talents, when you can figure what those are, then you can just use those straight away. It's not a guess game anymore. And you're not kind of going round and round trying to get there. You know where your potential is. And you can start really leveraging that. And that's what makes this remarkable difference. And it made it to me. It sort of turned my life on its head. It made me realize that I was so much stronger than I had ever thought I was. And I also realized that, you know what, I've been a leadership and coach for years. I've spoken on all sorts of things, and I knew I could help people. And this is what really, I thought, God, now my purpose is really clear to me, that I know I can help other people do what I do in their own way and become remarkable and achieve what they want to achieve in life. So that's where the book came from. I decided I needed to write it and share my experience with everybody. And that's where I am today.
Wow. So, I mean, oddly enough, it's, I'm just listening to it and I can't even imagine being where you are. But you often hear it's that mental decision that it's not your time and, to turn it around. So, powerful to you. But it's interesting, isn't it? I think, we all get hit, whether it's the last year where people think, they can't do it and they have to find ways of being resilient, or, you're going for a job and someone says to you, what are your strengths? How can you make an impact to the company? And then all of a sudden you start to panic and you think you wish the world would open you up, and you have to dig. I'm sure there's so many different ways where, your tools are going to help. If you had to say that there was just two types of person that your book would sing to, who are really going where they need to be resilient, what would those two types of people be? And just keep it really condensed for me.
Okay, so for example, there's loads. Okay, so I have some people within my clients who have actually they've kind of done their job for a long time, and you just sing along with it. Then when crisis comes, they start to realize, oh my God, what am I doing? I don't like what I do, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to move forwards. And every challenge that's coming at me, I feel is just pushing me down and sinking me to the floor. And then you start to lose your self-confidence and you don't know where to begin. And I think we're so used to looking at what's wrong with us rather than what's right with us, that people fall into a mental mindset of not knowing where to turn. And this is where I found I've been able to make a huge difference on helping people find what's right with them and building on that and helping them gain confidence and find their path forwards. So that's one type of person. I've also worked with some people who are really senior leaders who've done amazing things. And they thought, I'm at the top of my game. I know where I am. And then suddenly, a bit similar, remote working, you're at home, and you suddenly think, actually, ho hum, I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing anymore. But I thought I'd achieved it. Where am I going? What's my purpose? Actually, what are my strengths? I've achieved all this stuff. But what do I do now? How do I leverage that? How do I become a master in my field where I'm recognized for what I'm brilliant at? So another type of person that we work with, and we build on that.
Okay. So look, Laura, I mean, this is your story, and that, I mean, it's just so powerful. So now the really, really important question that I'm going to ask you. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. If you were stuck on a desert island and you were there forever, who would you choose to have on your desert island? It cannot be a member of your family, because I don't want to get you in trouble. Okay, so who else would it be, and why?
Oh my God. Well, there's lots. I mean, obviously, I would probably take the British rugby team because I love rugby players.
Oh, come on, one person. Don't be greedy.
One person. Oh my goodness. Who would I choose?
The rugby team.
That's so hard. Yeah, I actually, do you know what? I would probably take somebody I could be sure. I'm really good at talking about things. I'm not really good at doing shooting and killing and making and doing. I'd probably take someone like Bear Grylls, who could do all those fancy things, not make me eat bugs, but do the rest of the stuff around, make sure I stayed safe.
Sounds like a very wise choice to me. Bear Grylls, if you're listening, Laura has holiday plans as soon as
I have plans for you, plans.
Laura, thank you so much. If anyone wants to get hold of you, how can they get hold of you?
Well, either through my email, laura@lauraeverestconsulting.com, my website, same, Laura Everest Consulting. Yeah, I think those are probably best, or on LinkedIn. I love connecting on LinkedIn.
Brilliant. Laura, thank you so much, and good luck with your book. All the best, and I hope you change some lives. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Say bye, everybody.
Bye.